So have fun, and the floor is yours.
Thank you. That's okay. Then I can quickly introduce myself. My name is Maja. I'm Director Global Marketing at EPOS, heading up the consumer side of the business because we also operate in B2B. I have a background in sports marketing and brand building. I started out with long ago a master in finance and strategy, but then I got a student job at Carlsberg, the Danish beer brewer, with their global sponsorship team. And if someone knows sponsorship, it's that company. So I got hooked, and I forgot all about investment banking and built a career in sports marketing. I've been around many places, worked in APAC with MasterCard, running their regional sponsorships, but also launching a new sports media brand out there called One Championship. And then back to Denmark, where I'm from, heading up the Ice Hockey World Championship that took place there in 2018, and then I landed with EPOS. And one of the big marketing pillars for us at EPOS is esports partnerships, I'll try to give you a little bit of a journey through what it is that we are doing at the moment and how we use them in launching a new brand. I would love to be able to stand here today and tell you the best practice on how do you use esports or sponsorships to launch a brand so that it's successful and you sell products from day one and everyone loves you. That is not the story you're gonna get today. But let's meet a year from now and see if we're getting there. I rather want to talk about the challenges, the pitfalls, and also how difficult it is, as with any other marketing, to figure out how you're doing it exactly right. It is a lot of slides and a lot of videos, so fair enough.
Yes, maybe, I mean, the presentation is coming now. It will be there in a minute, so no worries. Just maybe quickly one thing for the discussion rounds now for the keynotes in the morning. After the coffee break, we break into the 3 different rooms. So basically the discussion rounds of the keynotes will then also take place in the rooms as well. So basically we have discussion round of Professor Hornung, who will take place in room number 2 in this room, and we have then also discussion round of Maja from EPOS in room 3 then. So after the presentations at 12:15, so that you can orientate then to the correct room, to the correct speaker where you want to attend the discussion round at that moment. Seems to be a very big presentation then. So while we wait until it downloads again. So feel free basically to use the think tank, as I mentioned this morning, to network further. Feel also free to have a look at the flyers that are lying on the table, where we have then also the different upcoming events that we're having. So the world-class corporate culture transformation already now on November 30th, December 1st. The world-class digital health 2022 on February 1st and 2nd. The world-class corporate venture capital 2022 on January 19th and 20th. The world-class retail store transformation 2022 on February 3rd and 4th. The world-class digital transformation and innovation 2022 on March 29th and 30th. So you see we have a very packed calendar coming up of events. Use then also the flyer to book your ticket already ahead with a 50% discount if you give it to us today at the check-in with your data. I see that we are ready now, so I leave the floor to Maja.
Thank you. So I'm going to spend the time talking partly about who are we at EPOS, because that is quite important to understand what we're trying to get out of having sponsorships as part of our marketing mix. So I'll talk a little bit about how we choose our sponsorships, build our portfolio, what business impact we are looking to get from them. And then where are we today? What have we gotten out of it the first 1.5 years? And what is the next hurdle to get over with what we do with sponsorships? EPOS is a startup and an old company. We come out of a joint venture with Sennheiser. And we are today fully owned by the Danish conglomerate Demant. Demant is a leading global leader within hearing aid. And back in the days, Sennheiser said, we have the brand. Demant said, we have the expertise. Let's get together and make some amazing products. And some of the products they made were a gaming portfolio. They then decided a few years ago to part ways. It was a happy divorce, and Demant decided to then launch, carry on the company under EPOS, rolling out a new brand. Last year we took our Sennheiser portfolio and we relaunched it under EPOS Sennheiser. And this year we have spent the time rolling out a whole new portfolio under EPOS, but done by the same experts. So basically we are now in that lucky situation that we are owned by some of the most skilled people within the world in audio technology, in how human anatomy and the brain perceives and process audio. And that is really that expertise we want to find the right way to bring into the gaming community and bring value there. So our brand, we are not what we call a traditional gaming brand. And when I say traditional gaming brand, I talk about all the successful audio brands out there today that some of you might know, Razer, HyperX, Logitech. They really own the market today. They've been really skilled in doing the whole for gamers by gamers. We want to come out with a different position. We are at a higher price point for a starting point. We have a completely different expertise to put into our products and a different storytelling. And also we want to respect that they own that part of the market. There's another part of the market we want to own. So we like to say that we play in the nexus between performance and lifestyle brands. Performance meaning we built on our legacy from Sennheiser. Sennheiser is by the consumer viewed as a performance brand. It is a brand that's trusted. They know it's built by experts and it's used by professionals. That's the legacy we build on. And then into lifestyle, Apple Beats. There's a whole gaming audience out there today who are not about, sorry to say, gimmicky LED colored products. They are about products that fits into where they are in their life. They want quality. They buy quality for everything else in their life. Why shouldn't they buy quality for when they're gaming? And also maybe a look and feel that fits more into that they're moving into adulthood. So we believe there's an opportunity in the market there. We believe there's a market space that we will leave to the people who are really good at that. And we believe we can deliver something to this space that all wrapped in gaming that there is an audience for. Because you have an audience today who we can see in our research will either buy traditional brands, because that's the brands that are dedicated to gaming, or they'll buy lifestyle brands. They use their Apple or their Bose for gaming, because they don't have any other opportunities if they want something else than what the traditional brands deliver. There is nothing that is dedicated to gaming but delivering on their quality and lifestyle demands. That's where we think there is an opportunity for us. So we call our brand position premium audio equipment that enhances the gaming experience. We sell headsets, in-ears, streaming mics, amplifiers, external sound cards. That's our portfolio. So the whole audio ecosystem for the gamer is what we are delivering. And Premium audio equipment is all about what we deliver on a functional level. This is typically where we tend to, in the consumer tech business, communicate tech specs, tech specs, tech specs. And then I will say, well, I have 20 hours battery life on my product, and the next day my competitor will come out and say, I have 21 hours, and then I gotta go back to the drawing table. That's hygienic. Where we want to compete is on the emotional level. What is it our brand is doing to enhance the gaming experience? If you are a gamer, we want to have you know the why. Tech specs, that's all good, but why? What are you going to do for me? How are you going to make my gaming, my passion, my hobby better? What binds these two together is our brand platform called the Power of Audio, because we truly believe that power can complete the gaming experience. In gaming peripherals, you start with your monitor, the visual aspect, you spend your money there, then you buy your keyboard and your mouse, that's the next place you spend your money, and then you buy your headset. We really want to give the market a new perspective on that and say, you know, you can get everything from a more immersive experience to competitive advantage if you have the right audio when you game. But that's the challenge we're up against. We are a bit down the row of priorities when our end user is out buying products. We build our brand on 3 brand pillars, and why is this important? It's important because if our partners, if the sponsorships we do, our partners don't understand these and don't find them almost as exciting as us, then we can't do good storytelling and activation together. First of all, pioneering audio technology. We want to be at the forefront. We really want to work with our sponsorships and our partners to talk about how can we do better products that deliver against the end user's need, because these people are at the core of using our products. Crafted to last, designed to excite. We run 2-year guarantee on our products. We build from the best material, but this is a key thing in our storytelling that we use our sponsorships for, because I would love to be able to put one of our headsets in the hands of all potential buyers out there and have they feel it against one of the more gimmicky traditional brands. But I can't. So how do I tell that story? That it's a different level of quality, and that the audio engineering we put in there really is done by some of the best in the world. And then passion for performance. That's performance in our products, but it's also performance for the end user. And performance can be many things. It doesn't necessarily have to be the competitive gamer, but it's about, you know, realizing your potential as a user of our products. So that leads very well into who is the end user. And that's also key, that we have an understanding of that. And we had some good talks in the esports breakout, I think yesterday, about the casual gamer versus the competitive gamer. Because one of the things you'll see is the casual gamer is quite important to us. And then we see statistics talking about that, how much do they actually have time to spend on watching esports? So why are we then in esports? We did a study where we went out into the world and we asked gamers, defined as people who game on PC and console minimum once a month, so that's very broad. What is it that kind of makes you engage in gaming? And then secondly, how do you choose your audio? Now we came up with 5 groups. 2 of those, the captivated gamer and the cheap thrills, they are not really looking for quality to that level, and they're also not willing to pay for it. So let's remove them right away, because that's not of interest to us. Then we have the more hardcore gamer, the competitive gamer. This is the gamer that is really owned by the traditional brands. And as I said, they own that space. They have a certain way of communicating. They all do it the same way, so that the end user in our studies can't tell them apart, but I'll leave that for them to solve. But they own that space combined. We never want to alienate their audience. We want to be relevant to them. We want to be aspirational. We want to be the brand they choose when they are done with the gimmicky product. But they're not a target audience. We'll respect that they are choosing someone else at the moment. So in the end, that left us with 2 groups. And there can be many variants within these target audiences, of course, but these are our guiding star for who we believe we can deliver value to. The first one being the audio techie. The audio techie is the gamer who's really looking for quality. Not the latest trends and gadgets, but the quality that is done by experts for professionals. It's typically the ones who would probably buy Sennheiser back in the day when our portfolio was branded Sennheiser only. They are willing to spend a lot, so there's a good value there. The volume is not that big, but there's value from a market perspective. And then we have the interesting mainstream or casual gamer, where there's volume in the market. And that's because people don't stop gaming as they grow up, so to speak. As they move into adulthood, they continue to game. It just becomes where they choose to spend their time, their free time. It's their hobby. So some of you might be road biking, doing yoga. For these people, they continue to game. That's their me time. That's their passion. That's where they meet with their community. And that means we suddenly have a broader and broader audience there of potential buyers who are also buyers who are moving into a point in their life where they are looking for that quality that we can deliver. They are also willing to pay for quality. What binds all of these segments together is that gaming is entertainment. So whether you are looking to be very competitive-minded gamer, it's all about winning a map in CSGO, or it's about diving into the immersive story-driven game, that's not for us to decide. But it's entertainment to you. That's what binds them together. They game for entertainment, for fun, to unwind, and that's what we want to make even better, that experience. And that's a key thing, because that moves us a bit away from just looking at it as esports and competitive gaming. So in short, how do we define this segment? Well, the first, and it might be a little funny to put that up there, but it's ordinary people. And why do we say that? That's because we have a lot of people in our company who don't game, and there's still this misperception that gamers is this niche audience. No, it's gone mainstream, and for anyone who doesn't game, might not know this yet, but it's mainstream. It's on TV channels with the esports events. It's something that people do when they game, as I said, in their spare time. It's their hobby, their passion. And when we went out and talked to these people and said, so you're a gamer? They were like, what do you mean? I'm me, and I game because I love it. But what do you mean I'm a gamer? So the next thing is they use gaming for enjoyment and entertainment, especially in the casual segment. If they have been gaming, and for some reason something happens so they can't, well then they jump on to the next entertainment, turning on Netflix or whatever that might be. They use it to have fun and unwind. We all have our different ways of taking that break from responsibilities and daily life. And this is what they use it for, a bit of escapism. And then they care about maximizing their gaming experience more than becoming professionals. So it is not necessarily the competitive gamer that is aspiring to becoming a pro one day. That's also why we're not in the very young segment with our products, because those are not the ones we're talking to. We're talking to the ones who are just looking to have good entertainment and get the most out of the time they choose to spend on their hobby. And then there are people who look for quality equipment because they're willing to pay for that if it makes the experience better. So for us, that means we had to look at what is it we need to tick the box with when we deliver our products. Are we doing that fully today? Maybe not, but that's the journey we are on. It's about helping them maximize their enjoyment, giving them a competitive edge, showing that they are connoisseurs, meaning, you know, I buy the best monitor and everything else for my hobby, so why shouldn't I buy the best headset? Giving them a fun and hassle-free experience. You don't want to spend an hour setting up your equipment when you only have a few hours a day to game after you've done with everything else that you have to get done in your day. And then give them solitude from the outside world, and that's just meant as, like anyone else, it's escapism. That's what a hobby and a passion is. So for us, it's all about saying there's a whole audience out there who chooses to have this as their spare time activity, to choose to have this as they move into adulthood, as where they spend time when the day is over and they have a little bit of time. And we want to make that a better experience, and we want to respect that just the same way as everyone else have other types of hobbies. Now that's the ambitious plan and strategy and position we believe is an opportunity for us. Lots of other brands, lifestyle brands out there looking at that right now. You start to see them move, so it's a bit of a race, right? But why do we then choose to have esports partnerships as part of our marketing mix in rolling out our brand? Well, I'll be very honest. First of all, we do it because we had it at Sennheiser and no one questioned if we should continue to spend a huge amount of our marketing budget on it. So we just continued to do it. That is not the way to do it. But that's the reality, and I think it's the reality for a lot of brands. What we did was we went in and then we looked at what are the premises? What is it we are trying to achieve with having sponsorships as part of our marketing mix? Well, first of all, as a new brand, we want to grow market share, and we want to do it through this unique market position that we're looking to get in the marketplace. And how do we want to develop that unique market position? Through storytelling and activation of that core story around our expertise and what it can deliver to this gaming audience. Through brand equity building, can it help us be legitimate and get closer as having value and a reason to be in gaming? And then brand sell into end user, but also to our sales channels. We sell our products through trade, retail and e-tail, and our sponsorship should help us also get a voice there. Secondly, as I said, we are all about talking at the more emotional level. Talking specs should be a hygiene factor. If you want a brand that stands out and have a position, you need to have a long-term play for engaging emotionally, and that is really hard today. But reality is, the end user, you, me, everyone in here, we are human beings, and human beings tend to base their decisions 90% on emotions. And that's important to remember when you need to explain someone why you need to spend money on getting that storytelling that drives an emotional investment in your brand, why you need to do that. We always measure what we do through the brand funnel. How do we drive traffic from the first time people meet a brand and product all the way down to getting them into point of sale and purchase? Our role in marketing is to drive traffic through this funnel. So if we decide to engage with esports partnerships, we need to demonstrate how is it driving the end user through the funnel. And if we can't demonstrate that, then we should find something else to spend our money on. So how does this all lead into our sponsorship selection? We use pretty standard frameworks. I think anyone who does sponsorship, whether it's esports or traditional sport, will recognize some of this. But what we did after the first year with the EPOS was try to challenge a bit the frameworks we're using. But as a first, let me introduce you to our portfolio as it looks today.
Yes, the veteran of the scene.
This portfolio was announced beginning of this year, so it's only 1 year old. We had a tendency in Sennheiser to only do 1 year sponsorships, and that's because when you present a sponsorship investment in the esports market today to senior management who has no clue about esport, it seems like a crazy thing to invest in. It is a crazy world. Mergers are happening all the time. Teams are being shut down. Leagues are popping up. What's the right investment? Really comparing it to any other type of investment market, you'd be like, that's idiotic to go in there. We are looking at long-term sponsorships now and partners who is going on a journey with us and where we are going on a journey with them. And this is the portfolio as it looks today. So, 5 reasons for why we engage in sponsorships. It has creates the opportunity for relevant and equity building communication. It has the potential to create strong emotional ties between the brand and end user. It works well in the area of strengthening brand loyalty and positioning. It gives you an opportunity for new communication that lies outside the realm of traditional marketing. And the end user perceives this as different from normal advertisement. Now I want to challenge all these 5 propositions because I think that we are a slightly different way to the place today, and I think what we see happening in esports sponsorships is that both the brands but also A lot of the people going into work there, they come from traditional sports marketing, traditional sports, and then they take everything we did there for the last 50 years into esports, instead of challenge ourselves to do different and better. Yes, it creates that opportunity for creating relevant communication, but you need to know what's relevant to your end user. If you just view this from the brand perspective as a sponsor, then you, for those of you who heard about the Coca-Cola campaign, you will know that you can go horribly wrong. Creating strong emotional ties, yes, but the potential is the key word here, because that is not, if you go in and tell your management, this is what our sponsorships will do, you better have a long-term plan for how you realize this. Because emotional ties don't happen overnight just because you become part of a million other brands sponsoring something. Creating, strengthening brand loyalty and positioning. Yes, if you have the budget to activate, still way too many brands who goes in, pays a fortune for sponsoring, and then they forgot they should have almost the same budget to actually activate. Also, it needs to be a long-term play. Opportunities for communication out of the realm of traditional marketing. Really? I don't think sponsorships, be it esports or sports, is not traditional marketing today. And I think we're kidding ourselves if we think that this is something that is completely different from any other type of marketing today. Because we've been saying content is king for 5-10 years now. We've been saying sponsorship, sports sponsorship is something unique for 20-50 years now. This is traditional marketing in the modern era. This is traditional marketing to the audience who is consuming this. And then lastly, this audience perceiving this as different from normal advertising, I don't think so. The consumer, I think we highly undervalue the consumer if we think that they don't know that we are in partnerships with esports brands to do advertisement and sell products. So let's not kid ourselves about that. But that's okay. Because what we should be thinking about, how do we do that in a way that's bringing value to the community? And that's when it becomes something that you will accept and you can work together as a partner to constantly have the community and the end user as your starting point for how do we do advertisement and sell our products in this space, but through ways that are engaging and value creating and entertaining for the end user. But the end user know we're there for advertisement. So for us right now, that leaves that the relevance, equity building, communication is really key for us. This opportunity to create strong emotional tie is our long-term play within doing esports partnerships. And strengthening brand loyalty and especially positioning is our mid and long-term play, because this should help us solidify our position in gaming and demonstrate why we should be allowed to be in gaming by the end user, because that's really what we need to demonstrate. Why should the end user, why should the gamer allow our brand to be part of their community? That's on us to explain. So, we have a nice strategic framework on how we then choose our properties, done by some clever consultant, I'm certain. First of all, we look at does the property we are looking at, the partner we're looking at, fit with our brand values? And more specifically, that's about, can we do authentic storytelling around all the brand pillars and our audio heritage that we want to talk about? And can we activate in a cluttered space? Can we do storytelling and activation that stands out? Because everyone is in there doing storytelling. Does it target consumer interest? Meaning, can we build legitimacy? Can we strengthen our familiarity in the end user's point of view of why we should be selling products in gaming? But also, can we realize the casual gamer opportunity? Because we are not going for the hardcore, very competitive-minded gamer only. How do we measure the efficiency of our investment? Return on marketing investment is really troublesome here, because I can go in and tell my senior management, we spent this much money and there was 1 million billion people. Esports loved to dazzle us with big numbers who saw the event where we were present with our brand. And then my management will say, great, how many products did we sell? So if you cannot demonstrate the market effect, meaning how you're driving the consumer through the funnel from awareness into point of sale, then I don't think you can justify why you're doing investments in sponsorships. And then we look at market impact. So are we increasing top line? Are we bringing more end users, more people within our target audience into our funnel? And are we starting to drive them through? Are we becoming desirable and interesting for the end user? And our partnerships helping us opening doors with our trade partners. Do we become more interesting if we go out to MediaMarkt and say, by the way, we also sponsor all these properties, they are our partners, so we could do some exciting things in your stores and channels. Key in our selection, and then on top of that, we look specifically at game titles. So we went out with Nielsen actually, and we looked at within high-end headset users in gaming who games PC console minimum once a week, what game titles do they usually play? Then we looked at those game titles and we said which of these game titles represents a really strong opportunity for telling our story, because it's not all game titles that's necessarily the strongest to tell the story of what audio can do for you, but luckily some of the ones that they are really interested in are also really good at telling this story. So I'll give you an example of what I mean with that. A first-person shooter game, it's really important you have good audio so you can hear the enemy sneaking up on you, but also good communication so you can talk to your team. And hey, that's exactly the story we want to tell. So this is the game titles we are active in today, and in relations to the last presentation just saw, one thing I want to pinpoint is that we are sponsoring Aston Martin. As a company, we are sponsoring the F1 racing team, and part of that sponsorship also is the Esports racing team. So that's actually a company-wide, and I actually think to the presentation before that, what I really love about this partner is that we can go on a journey together to also be of value to them to bring and build the story around F1 Esports series. Good. The last thing we look at is where do our end user go for inspiration when they are to buy a new headset, and professional gamers or field experts is one of the things on that list. So it's key. That's what we need to use our sponsorships for. Now the challenge, same challenge as when you work with influencers, is that today they are opening, unboxing our brand, talking about how amazing it is, and tomorrow it's HyperX, and the day after it's Logitech. And that's why I'm saying that the end user knows that this is advertisement. So get the storytelling right, and be creative around how you're doing this, because you are moving into a space where they are not loyal to one brand. They are loyal to the one who are their sponsor at the moment, and that's how it is. But it's also your responsibility to make sure that they not just promote your brands because it's interesting, but you choose partners where they actually love and like your brand, and they buy into your story and value proposition. So I think one of the best activations we've had to date is what we've done with Blast Premier, which is a CSGO tournament organizer. Because I have to say they have been some of the best at really seeding our product, using our product in their content without putting it smack in your face, but just making it come across as in good places where it makes sense for the end user. So you'll get another little video on that.
There's a lot of good duos out there, but to be completely honest, they deliver, and they deliver at a very high level, and they do it consistently. Let's go!
Towards library, but this fast flank down middle, maybe it catches one player turn.
One moment we weren't sure here was just, well, RBK on the balcony. Found that good timing to like peek perfectly.
Hvor er du god, mate. Du er så...
Oh, you know what?
It's very lightweight. I really like that about it.
Yes! They're sleek, they're light. 3 points.
Hi, my name is Kerrigan.
Hey guys, I'm Config. I think it was like a 3-2 situation or something like that.
Props to you, Majas. Really good comms right there.
This is Audio Advantage. In CSGO, audio is key, and in this video, we'll be showing you the best tips and tricks to confuse your opponents.
Hey guys, Refresh here from Heroic, and this is the story about the last round against Gambit in the final of ESL Pro League.
The Blast Push to Talk podcast is back.
That was fantastic.
The best captain I've ever played with.
God, Katie is so handsome and tall and charming.
Unarguably, We all love Counter-Strike to absolute death.
So what is really a pleasure in working with a partner like Blast is they buy into our story and they are excited about telling it with us, but they also challenge us. They help us develop the story, and that's the partner we're looking for, because we need to do it as a partnership and we need to challenge each other on, are we doing the right thing for the community? So where are we today? 1.5 years out from launching EPOS, launching our current portfolio of sponsorships beginning of this year. We see strong results considering we are a new brand in the research we do with Nielsen on awareness. We are actually tracking quite well, and I truly believe that our sponsorship has a role to play in this, because we get our brand out there. So today, yes, we have used them on the awareness part of the spectra, from awareness to engagement. But that's also been our main objective as a new brand. We need to get the brand out there, and they have helped us do that. We see good results in aided awareness and aided consideration, even though we are so new in the market and a very competitive market. However, the activation, the storytelling, and the engagement part is what needs to be key now, and I'll get back to that. We do not see our end user associate us with specific sponsorships. That's bad news for the sponsors we have. And also, we don't see them identify sponsorships as the channel they recall first as where they see our brand. So this is probably down to how are we actually activating beyond just making sure our brand is there, as it's stated in the contract, and we can tick that. But how do we actually do clever activation, as what you just saw with Blast, to a much larger degree? And that requires that you have the people, the budget, and the time in your marketing to do this. And that's back to, if you just put the money behind the sponsorship but forget the resources required to activate it, then don't do it. Go out and buy some other media space. So what are we looking into now, going into 2022, with a brand that is starting to get really good awareness out there, a new portfolio in market, and some strong partners that we have learned, gotten to know really well over the year, and building strong partnerships with. Well, we need to have one focus next year, and that's activation. We need to use our properties to tell the story of how are we enhancing the gaming experience, because that's the opportunity we have with our partnerships. So the dream, and this is actually what we always put up as our ambition, is that we deliver engaging and high quality content that supports and amplifies our storytelling and our relevance and familiarity in gaming. And then that we find sponsors who wants to be partners and who are as excited as us about telling a story about how you get the gaming experience to be even better for the end user, and who again challenges us and are part of developing our storytelling with us. So in short, we lend our partners voices to tell our story. And that is the headline for 2022 as we move into the next step of rolling out EPOS in gaming. So how does the rest of the year look? Because since the summer, our focus was that we end the year with a lot of activation, where it's not just about getting the exposure and the airtime on our partners' platforms, but it's also about actively using our partners in the campaigns that we go to market with. So our end of year seasonal campaign, Black Friday coming up, promotional campaigns coming out from every single consumer brand out there. We took our esports sponsorships and we wrapped our communication in those, because that helps us stand out at a time of the year where everyone is investing high amounts of money to gain the interest of the end user. So it's a price promotion. Yes, we're almost done. It's a price promotion, but we wrap it up in esports, and then we add a value with coaching sessions for the end user. Then we just launched our H6 Pro, and this will be my last 2 videos, and we had 2 tracks for that. We did a partnership with Dexterto, where we told the story of our sponsored team, Toronto Ultra, and their journey in Call of Duty. And this will make sense for the gamers in here who are more familiar with that.
Get buried in this map 1, thought we were going to have ourselves a series, and maybe we still will, but these first 2 maps have not been competitive whatsoever.
I remember going 2-0 up, going toilet, and Krim was in the toilet, and he walked past me laughing, saying, dude, I don't know what the hell we're doing, but it's fine, we're going to reverse sweep you.
That guy's mental. No, Ben would never told me that. As a player, you're not going to go up on stage and go, hey, Krim said to us at 2-1 that he was going to beat us, and then they done it. I think if we had won, Ben would have been like, haha, Krim said he was going to beat us, and then, you know what I mean? But Ben probably kept it himself after that moment. But I didn't know that.
But he did beat us as well, so I got to say fair play for the confidence on that one.
Shots immediately get in. Insight, though, still set up in the back. It's a 2v3 for Ultra. Cammy's going to get caught. It's all on Insight. And he's done! Empire shows some of the greatest resilience we have ever seen in Call of Duty.
So what we've done here is a content piece that is about telling a great story, and then our brand is the center. You'll see they're actually wearing competing headset brands in some shots, but that's okay. We are the center of this great story, and this is about delivering value content for the end user. And then we also use our Cloud9 partnership, one of the biggest brands out there, to just do regular advertisement campaigns featuring them. Two tracks, 2 different ways of activating it, but running at the same time to meet our end user. So, leaving you with a bit of food for thought, question whether esports partnership is part of a hygienic factor to get awareness, and is it in the right channel, or is it at the core of a strategy for building and growing your brand and your position? Challenge how we do traditional sports marketing, and this also goes for esports. Make sure you can show business impact. In the end, you're not going to get the investment if you're showing numbers that about million or billion of people saw us, but you can't demonstrate what it does for your business. And your partners need to understand this as well, because they are the ones who need to help you show this. And lastly, choose the right partner, and that's not necessarily the biggest brand out there. That's the partner who is willing to go on a journey with you in what you're trying to achieve, and then achieve it together. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Maja. So with this, we move